Today we're learning about the 4 types of algebra: type 1, type 2, 3, and 4. Algebra is like balancing a scale. So on one side you're going to have the x, which is the value that you're looking for, and on the right side you're going to have your integer, the number that x is representing. Type 1 algebra is a simple one-step operation. It will either be subtract, divide, multiplication, or add. There are some other forms as well, but these are the 4 that I'm going to focus on. Our first question here is x plus 6 equals 12. So in order to find the value of x, we need to get x by itself. In order to get x by itself, we need to get rid of the positive 6 that is on the left. When we get rid of the positive 6, we need to take the opposite of it so that it will equal 0. So the opposite of positive 6 is negative 6. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, the left side of the equation, we must also do to the right. So if I took away 6 from the left side, I'm going to take away 6 from the right side. I bring down my value of x. The positive 6 and the negative 6 cancel each other out. I bring down my equal sign, and 12 minus 6 is 6. So therefore x equals 6. Now, in order to see if we have the right answer, we can check our equation. So x equals 6. So if we sub in 6 for the original equation, we can see that if I put in 6 for x plus 6 equals 12, we can see that 12 equals 12. That means that our answer is right. Now if we move on to type 2 is a two-step operation. I have some examples here with either multiplication and addition or division and subtraction. Type 2 is very similar to type 1, except that we have 2 steps. So the first step in a type 2 equation is that you need to get x by itself again on the left side. But in order to do so, we need to get rid of the 2 numbers. So this time we're going to start with the positive 2. It's like BEDMAS, but you're going backwards. So when you're solving for algebra, we're going to work our way up to the brackets. So we would start with addition and subtraction, then multiplication and division, and then exponents, then brackets. So for this equation here, we want to get rid of the the positive 2. So we would subtract 2 from our left side and subtract 2 from our right side. We bring down our 3x, and our positive 2 and negative 2 cancel out, bring down our equals, and then 14 minus 2 is 12. Now this is a type 1 equation. To get rid of the 3 times x, because there's a little imaginary multiplication in between there, telling us that this is a multiplication, in order to get rid of the 3, we need to do the opposite of multiplication. So we're going to divide by 3. Whatever we do to the left side, we do to the right side. So I'm going to divide by 3 on the right side. This gives us x, because the 3's become a 1, and 1x is the same thing as x. We bring down our equals, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So x equals 4. If we want to check our answer again, like we did previously, we would sub in x equals 4 into the original equation. So since x is being multiplied to 3, I'm going to use brackets to represent the multiplication step so that it doesn't get confusing. So 3 times 4 plus 2 should equal 14. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 equals 14. 12 plus 2 is 14. As we can see, it checks out, so therefore x does in fact equal 4. For a type 3 equation, we're adding in some extra steps and considering grouping. So as you can see in this little example here, all the x's are on one side, all the integers are on the other. So this question would be technically a little easier, where in this question here, we'd have to do some grouping. We would want to get the 9x to the other side and the positive 3 to the other side. Let's take a look at an example. 4x minus 3 equals 9x plus 7. So my first step is to group. So I want to move this negative 3 over to this side of the equation and this positive 9x to this side of the equation. Now you can do this in 2 steps, but I'm going to show it in 1 just to save room. So I want to add positive 3 to this side, add positive 3 to this side, minus 9x from this side, minus 9x from this side. So if I do the math, 4x minus 9x is negative 5x. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Positive 9x minus 9x is 0. 7 plus 3 is 10. I bring down my equals. Now I'm into a type 1. Negative 5x equals 10. In order to get rid of the negative 5x, we're going to divide by negative 5. And whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. This crosses out. We're left with x equals negative 2. 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. Let's check our answer. If x is equal to negative 2, we're going to sub it into the original equation. 4, and I'm going to use brackets again because we have multiplication. 9 times negative 2 plus 7. So 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 minus 3. 9 times negative 2 is negative 18 plus 7. Negative 8 minus 3 is negative 11. Negative 18 plus 7 is negative 11 as well. Therefore, it checks out. X does in fact equal negative 2. For type 4, we're using all the steps in combination. It is very similar to type 1, 2, and 3, but with more steps. We are going to look at 7 bracket 2x minus 4 bracket equals 5 bracket 2x plus 4 bracket. Now in this type 4 situation, we need to add an extra step, which is called distribution. So because there's a 7 on the outside of the bracket, we're going to use a distribution rule. We're going to distribute this 7 to both the 2x and the negative 4. Same situation on the right side. The 5 is going to get distributed to the 2x and to the 4. So I'm going to show this in 1 step. Normally you would break this down into 2, but I'm just running out of time. 7 times 2x is 14x. 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. 5 times 2x is 10x. And 5 times positive 4 is positive 20. So again, I'm going to group my like terms. So I want to move this negative 28 to this side and the positive 10x to this side. Once I move those over, so I am going to add 28 to this side, add 28 to this side, and I'm going to subtract 10x from this side, subtract 10x from this side. 14x minus 10x is 4x. Negative 28 plus 28 cancels out. 10x minus 10x cancels out. 20 plus 28 is 48. Bring down my equal sign. So now I have 4x equals 48. So if I want to get x by itself, I need to divide by 4 on my left side and divide by 4 on my right side. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so we're left with x equals 48 divided by 4 is 12. Now we want to check our answer. If x is in fact 12, we're going to sub it into the original equation. So 7 bracket 2 bracket 12 minus 4 bracket equals 5 bracket 2 bracket 12 plus 4 bracket. I'm going to do the inside first, so 12 times 2 is 24 minus 4. 5 on the outside. 2 times 12 is 24 plus 4. 7 times 20. 5 times 28. 7 times 20 is 140. 5 times 28 is 140. Therefore, x is in fact equal to 12. Some nifty little reminders to remember when doing algebra. Balance your scale, so have your x's on your left and your integers on your right. Check your answer, because you can always find out whether you have the right answer or not. Remember, you're looking for x, and again, x is on the left, integers on the right. Thanks.